Honey, what is this? You served me food with a cockroach on it.
Yes, that is what you deserve since you didn't allow me to join the Mwadas.
A story by the Brave African Folktales. Before we begin the story, click on the subscribe button for more updates. In the quiet village of Umuneke, where the red earth was soft on their bare feet and the tall palm trees swayed gently in the evening breeze, there lived a woman named Adaku and her husband Obinna. Umuneke was a simple Igbo village. At dawn, the cock crowed before the sun rose. Women swept their compounds with palm brooms, men carried hoes on their shoulders and walked toward their farms. Children fetched water from the stream called Iyudo. Life was peaceful, and tradition guided every home. Adaku and Obinna had been married for 3 planting seasons. In the beginning, their love was sweet like fresh palm wine. Adaku was known for her beauty and her sharp tongue. Obinna was known for his calm spirit and hard-working hands.
My
He
cassava
farmed
is
yam,
growing beautifully this
cassava,
season. I
and
can't wait to
cocoyam.
harvest them soon.
Their compound was neat, with a small mud house and a kitchen hut behind it. People used to say, "Tea has blessed Obinna with a good wife." But as seasons changed, so did Adaku. In Umuneke, there was a powerful women's gathering called Umuada Anyanwu, Daughters of the Sun. They met every Eke market evening under a large Odala tree at the edge of the village square. They wore matching white wrappers and coral beads. When they walked together, people made way for them. They helped one another, supported businesses, settled disputes, and sometimes they interfered in marriages. Their leader was Neka, a strong widow with piercing eyes and a deep voice. Some feared her, some admired her. Adaku admired her greatly. "I want to join Umuada Anyanwu," Adaku told her friend Chidima one afternoon at the stream. Chidima laughed softly. "Your husband must agree first. They do not accept a married woman without her husband's consent." Adaku frowned. "Why must I always ask? Am I a child?" That evening, when Obinna returned from the farm, tired and dusty, Adaku brought him water to wash his hands. "Obinna," she began carefully, "I want to join Umuada Anyanwu." Obinna paused. He had heard stories. "My wife," he said gently, "I do not like the way they interfere in homes. Some women who joined began to disrespect their husbands." Adaku's face hardened. "So you do not trust me?" "It is not about trust," he replied. "I only want peace in our home." But Adaku had only refusal. From that day, something changed in her heart. When she went to the market and saw Nneka and the other women laughing together, dressed proudly, she felt small. When they greeted her, they would ask, "Has your husband agreed yet?" Each time she shook her head, they smiled knowingly. Nneka once pulled her aside. "A strong woman does not beg for permission." Those words burned in Adaku's mind. She returned home with anger hidden under silence. Obinna noticed the change. The food lost its usual flavor. The house was not swept early. Adaku no longer sang while pounding yam. One night, he asked softly, "Adaku, what troubles you?" "You trouble me," she answered coldly. One evening, after another secret meeting with Umuada Anyanwu, Adaku returned home restless. Obinna had spent the whole day clearing weeds on his farm near the bush. "My wife," he said gently, "I am very hungry. Please serve the onugbo soup." Adaku nodded and went into the kitchen hut. As she lifted the pot, she saw a cockroach crawling near the firewood. It moved quickly across the wall. She stared at it. A wicked thought entered her mind. If he will not allow me freedom, let him feel discomfort. Carefully, she trapped the cockroach with a small leaf and dropped it into the hot soup. The insect struggled, its legs moving desperately. Adako's heart beat fast, but her face remained
What
calm.
is this?
That's
She
a cockroach.
carried the bowl outside and placed it before Obinna. He began to eat. Suddenly, he stopped. He looked closely into the soup. The cockroach was moving. Slowly, he raised his head. Adaku, what is this? She folded her arms. What do you mean?
Honey, what is this?
He
You served
lifted
me
his
food with a
spoon.
cockroach on it.
The
Yes, that is
cockroach's
what you
legs were
deserve since
still
you didn't allow
shaking.
me to join the Umuadas.
There is a live cockroach in my soup. Adaku shrugged. Maybe it fell inside. Obinna stared at her for a long moment. This is not a mistake. She said nothing. He gently pushed the bowl away and stood up without anger. The silence between them was heavier than a storm. By the next morning, the story had spread across Umuneke. At the stream, women whispered, "Did you hear? Adakun served her husband food with a moving cockroach." At the palm wine hut, men shook their heads. Old Okeke, one of the elders, visited Obinna. "My son," he said, "when a wife turns her kitchen into a battlefield, the home begins to crumble." Obinna sighed deeply. "I do not recognize my wife." Meanwhile, Adakun went to meet Ineka. Instead of rebuking her, Ineka laughed softly. "Good. Let him
I
know
have
you
a
are not
secret."
weak."
Oh, tell me.
For a moment,
What is it?
Adakun felt powerful. But power without peace is empty. After that day, Adakun's torment increased. She hid Obinna's farm tools. She insulted him in front of neighbors. She refused to warm his bathwater during cold mornings. Obinna grew quiet. He stopped laughing. He ate little. He walked silently. One night, as harmattan wind blew dust into the compound, Obinna fell sick. Fever gripped him. He shivered under a thin wrapper. Adakun watched him cough through the night. Guilt began to whisper in her heart. The village healer, Nwanyi was called. After examining him, she said, "His body is tired, but his spirit is wounded. There is pain in this house." She looked directly at Adaku. "A wife's anger can be more dangerous than poison," Nwanyi warned. Adakun's eyes filled with tears. That night, Adakun had a dream. She saw herself standing before her ancestors. They held broken clay pots and shook their heads. One voice spoke. "A woman who destroys her home destroys her own shelter." She saw the cockroach again, struggling in the soup. This time, it turned into a black stain spreading across her compound. She awoke trembling. Obinna was breathing weakly beside her. Fear swallowed her pride. At dawn, Adaku went to the village square and knelt before the elders. "I have sinned against my husband," she cried. "I allowed anger and pride to guide me. I put a cockroach in his soup on purpose." Gasps filled the air. Old Okeke spoke slowly. "Why?" "Because he refused to let me join Umuada Ayaun." The elders were silent for a while. Finally, Okeke said, "Marriage is not a wrestling ground. It is a partnership. If you seek power by humiliating your husband, you will harvest shame." Adakun wept openly. She returned home and knelt before Obinna. "Forgive me," she whispered. "I almost destroyed what we built." Obinna looked at her for a long time. His voice was weak, but calm. "I feared losing the peace in our home, but I never wanted to cage you." They talked for hours. Obinna agreed she could join women's cooperative meetings that focused on business and farming, but not secret gatherings that disrespect marriage. Adaku agreed. She withdrew from Umuada Yaung. Months passed. Obi Mami gained his strength. Adakun changed completely. She woke up before sunrise again. She cooked with care. She spoke gently. She even started a small palm oil business with other women, without secrecy, without manipulation. Whenever young brides gathered around her, she would say, "The day I placed a moving cockroach in my husband's soup was the day I nearly lost my home. Anger feels powerful, but it burns the one who carries it." Omuneke learned from her mistake, and under the same udala tree where pride once grew, peace returned to Adakun's home. Because in marriage, respect feeds love, but bitterness, it only serves shame. The end. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Click on the subscribe button for more updates.